Lorenzo Simonelli is chairman and CEO of Baker Hughes, the energy technology company that combines innovation, expertise, and scale to provide solutions for energy and industrial customers worldwide. Originally from Italy, Lorenzo is a business and economics graduate of Cardiff University. He is married and lives in Houston, Texas. Lorenzo, it's great to see you. Thank you for talking to me today.
It's great to be here. Thank you very much.
Let me start by asking you about the man behind Baker Hughes, one of the youngest CEOs of a global energy and technology company. Tell me, was this all part of the master plan, or did it naturally fall into place?
That sounds very ominous, the man behind Baker Hughes. It's actually, 58,000 employees strong, and I just represent them on a daily basis. To your question, though, when I started out, I knew that I wanted to lead a company, and I wanted to have the opportunity from my finance background to get into operations. And I didn't want to just push paper around. I wanted to be able to see how we make things happen, making products, solutions that have an impact on people's lives. So early on, yes, I decided I wanted to be a CEO of a company, and really more than anything, do something that was valuable to society from a business perspective.
What were some of the standout moments, some of those key milestones that really defined your career to date?
Well, if I go back in history, I would start with really my childhood, and first of all, wanting to go into banking from a professional standpoint and following my father's footsteps. And I thought, wouldn't it be good to actually run a bank? Then I realized, it was too much paper, and you were financing a lot of great projects, but you weren't with a large employee base. You weren't actually making something. You weren't creating something. And from there, I joined General Electric, and I already told people around me that I wanted to lead a business and actually get into the aspect of operations, manufacturing, product management. And that evolved really into being able to lead some of the GE businesses, and eventually in 2016, being able to create what we then created in 2017, which was Baker Hughes. And throughout my career, there's been many standout moments. I think, though, one that really, to me, is always poignant is when I took my first big role at GE Transportation in 2008. And that was an incredible period because it was coming off of what was one of the showcase Olympics of Beijing, and then came the financial crisis. And very quickly, I saw a business going through and having to navigate a very challenging time. And so in the period of 18 months, I got to experience a lot of learnings, and that was extremely beneficial for me.
It's always the toughest times, isn't it, that really test the mettle of any leader. And to that end, what would you say is your leadership style?
So I've always felt that people are the most important thing. And in fact, at Baker Hughes, we say people first, energy forward. And to be a people leader, you also have to be willing to accept feedback. You have to be humble. You have to be willing to be out there and communicate. That doesn't mean you have all the answers. However, people want to see that there's somebody alongside them that's willing to stand with them and also chart a path forward. And I'm a very people-oriented individual, and also I've always accepted a lot of feedback. And I felt that it's always important to stand out and lead from the front.
When we speak about the energy transition, what would you identify as the top challenges and opportunities that face the industry today?
I've watched the energy transition over the course of multiple years. And as I've gone through the journey, I think it's really about an energy expansion. And we've got to make sure that we have affordable, reliable, secure energy for everybody. And that's very important. And I think sometimes we get into debates of what's good, what's bad. I think there are a couple of key factors. Number one, we know that energy demand is increasing. And we know that it's a right for people in the planet to have energy. It's not something that just is for the West, it's for everybody. Also, we know that emissions need to be reduced. And so the energy mix needs to continue to expand with all types of fuel sources, as well as continuing to reduce emissions. And what we're creating at Baker Hughes is this aspect of let's create an energy mix that actually is focused on reliable, secure, affordable energy with lower emissions. And let's go towards a low carbon economy. And it will take time, but that's got to be the focus. Instead of saying something's bad, something's good, because we have a growing population and everybody has a right to energy.
Back in 2019, Baker Hughes was one of the first global energy companies to make their net zero pledges. What might be a status report? Where are you currently standing today?
I think if you look at statistics today, we're actually increasing in energy poverty, which is sad to see. We made a pledge in 2019 to be net zero by 2050, 50% reduction by 2030 on scope 1 and 2. And we've made great strides and actually are down 28% from our 2019 baseline. It can be done. I think, though, it's important that we continue to focus on everybody has to be able to benefit from energy. And as you think of prosperity, energy provides prosperity. The way in which we've developed in the West has been thanks to energy. So we've got to make sure that we focus on providing the ability through technology to reduce emissions faster, and then also new technologies to allow the developing world to have access to cleaner energy.
This is becoming an increasingly attractive sector, we hope, to the next generation of rising stars, leaders, CEOs and chairmen. What's your most important piece of advice to them?
Number one, to know that change is a constant and actually embrace change, embrace agility, because it's going to be every day a changing landscape. Set your direction. Set the destination that you want. We're a differentiated energy technology company at Baker Hughes. Our direction is clear, but you'll take many paths to get there, and you've got to be agile as a leader, and then embrace the communication and the inclusiveness of your team. And at the end of the day, make sure that it's the team that is actually enjoying the journey with you, because this isn't a one-person show. It's often said, culture eats strategy for breakfast. That is very true.
When you talk about the next generation, the future leaders of energy giants around the world, you say they should set their path, they should navigate their course. Do they also need to set their alarm for 3 a.m. in the morning, as you do?
So, I didn't know you were going to ask me that.
It is 3 a.m., right? You're up before the lark.
Yes, I am up at 3:15 in the morning, and I am in the gym by 4. Now, I will not say that everybody should do that. I think everybody needs to have their own routine and their own schedule. And for me, that allows me also me time. I think it's important, though, to allow everybody to have the flexibility to have the routine that they need. Many people ask about work-life balance. I find it's very personal, and everybody has the right to choose what their work-life balance is. For me, I enjoy what I do, and it's part of my life. And so I encompass it when family is involved, but also when colleagues are involved and friends are involved.
It is very personal, but if I may be bold, take me to Italy and to where your family still have a huge part of their life and indeed are still building their legacy there. Talk to me about your passion for the country and what's being done on the ground there.
Italy's always going to be home, and from a family perspective, it's been a home for many generations of my family, and we grew up on a winery as well as an olive grove, and my father was the first member who really moved away from agriculture. At the end, though, roots are important, and I think it's a grounding for all of us. And for me, that's important from a family perspective, the ability to go back and have something that is historic, and also where I have friends and family. And so every year I go back and I enjoy it thoroughly.
And you still enjoy traveling the world, because we sit here in the St. Regis in Abu Dhabi. We're lucky to have caught you because you are stepping onto another plane today and off to Turkey. But from starting in London and then to Cardiff and then to Florence and then to Asia, then all over the States and constantly in the Middle East and North Africa too. Do you ever tire of the travel, or does it keep you energized and ignited with this industry?
I love to learn. And also I love the way in which the world is rich with different cultures, different experiences. It's often said, if you want to understand something, if you want to see something, you have to be on the ground. Yeah. And I believe in that very much. And so I take a proactive stance of actually being in the places where the employees are working, where business is done, and constantly learning, because the variety is the spice of life, and travel allows you to see it. And there's so many things that are taking place, and it's important to experience them for yourself.
Lorenzo, there we have to leave our conversation, but thank you very much and safe travels.
Thank you very much. I enjoyed it.